Greetings everyone. We're doing another message 2 video, and this one is for Alicia Kim and Boo. I have a few notes just to keep me on track because I don't want to go too long in this video. So first of all, I have to say to you, Kim and Boo, is that I really appreciate you. For one, you have helped me go through, the situation in the world by providing us light content that had me laughing. And for that reason, I have to start out being very positive. So whatever I express in terms of my opinion, please understand that I have no intention of hurting you in any way. So if I say anything that comes across as offensive, that is not my intention. But I'm here to tell truth, and I'm doing a relationship series in 2023. And so I have decided to choose your little family and to share my opinion and to respond to some of your videos. For the viewers or subscribers that are here, I'm giving them the opportunity to share their opinion or their views if they happen to know who you guys are. Okay? We're doing this once again for the sole purpose of, sharing information. YouTube used to have this thing where they call it, I think it's comments, where anyone could take a video from anyone who gave them permission to upload these videos, and they use it as comment shares. And so for the individuals who have videos on social media who feel that it is okay for them to share their life story with us and we should just be quiet, I'm not sure where we get that from. People are going to express their opinion, and sometimes you ask for our opinion. And when you're sharing, you're only sharing because you want to hear what we're saying. Behind the scenes, Kim and Boo, you guys are dealing with some life-changing circumstances. And sometimes you want to hear the opinions of the people who watch you. And so I'm going to express that. When I first started watching you, Kim and Boo, and you were doing your pranks, I was really here for it. When I looked at your relationship from the very beginning, of course, we can see this is a age gap relationship. Now I'm going to be presumptuous, and I'm going to say that there is at least a 30-year difference between both of you. It could be more. And though you have expressed or gave us an idea, you really didn't call the number. So from the onset, I'm thinking this relationship is going to be very challenging, not just for Boo, but for you, Alicia. Now, when we go back into your story that you have shared with us, I'm going to say that you became the poster husband and wife, especially for persons who are in long distance relationship and individuals who are in age gap relationship. I think a lot of older men who are married to very young girls, are hoping that things work out between both of you. It's like they're hanging their hope on your relationship working out. And I'm going to say that anyone who's ever been in a long distance relationship, you know how difficult that is. And the difficult part is not when you're separate and apart from each other. That's actually the exciting part. The difficult part is when you start to live together. When you start to live under the same roof. That's when all your differences are going to show. Now, I'm responding to this video because of the last video that you did, ready for baby and / age gap something. Then I'm also going to reference one video that you did called I Gave My Husband an Enlargement Pump. And 4 months prior to that, you had a video where you were talking about your first fight. Listen, for every relationship, there's always that one big first fight. And the problem is not that you had that fight, it's what you do after you've had it. And you shared with us, you guys have been very transparent with your relationship. And the honeymoon really didn't last very long. And it's not when you decided to share it with us, is when I began to see it. So while you were confined in the same space, and Kim, you were new to America, the excitement was still there. When you guys would sit in the car, or you'd be at home when or doing a sit down talk or doing a live, you guys were one. There was no space between both of you. But as the days went on, I started to see that division. And even though you were smiling and everything seemed okay, it was very clear that you guys were drifting apart. The things that brought you together was the things that were beginning to tear you apart. I saw it, and even though I was laughing with you, let me tell you what I noticed with Boo, especially when he was in Jamaica, when he was talking about his beautiful wife. I could hear it in his voice that something wasn't right. He sounded very sad. And since that time, when you hear Boo, he sounds so sad. So his eyes seem, or your eyes, because I'm talking to you, Boo, your eyes tell us so much more, even when you're smiling. And the same thing is true for Kim. And Kim, to be honest with you, it's a bit heartbreaking for me, because you say that you're a jovial person and that you're always laughing. And Boo, you're saying you got tired of the kiki. That's what teenagers do, or young adults do, especially girls or females. Now, Kim, you're a young woman, but to me, as a mother of a daughter who's the same age as yourself, I just can't imagine my daughter being married to anybody, let alone a man who is that much older than she is. Because at that age, at your age, Kim, you're into the hair and the makeup and the fun and the excitement. I can just imagine when you got together with Boo, you did see him as a sugar daddy. There's no way you can tell me otherwise. You saw him as a sugar daddy. Most young girls are in love with older men. It's not unusual. So for the people who are going to say that you didn't love Boo or had no real affections for Boo, that might not be true. Because in our culture, women are accustomed to being married to older men. When I was growing up, a lot of the couples together, the man was usually 20 or more years older. And when you hear the story of those women, a lot of them got married when they were 16. So in our culture, it is very common for younger girls to date older men. And for older men, after they've been married for many years and they get to the midlife crisis, they tend to be enamored with younger girls. But there's always a lesson that they don't really learn. So both of you were brought together. I think you said, Kim, that Boo proposed the first time you saw him. And I think maybe in your 3 days after you met, something about that time, because I've been watching you for a while, watching your stories, and they're so interesting. Boo, I'm sure there were individuals who told you that Kim was too young and you shouldn't marry her because, she's going to be doing it for this or that. And I'm sure sometimes in your fight, now that you're in the same space and you're going through these growing pains, you're starting to question her intention. But I'm going to ask you, Boo, not to do that. Okay? Not to question her, because she might have seen you as a sugar daddy. She might have seen you as someone who could give her an opportunity. But ain't nothing wrong with that. All of us, when we get opportunity, we seize it. Now, you saw her as a baby doll. She's beautiful. She's youthful. And you saw the opportunity through her to enjoy that fountain of youth. As a man, there's something about an older man dating a younger girl. Even sometimes when men are having an affair with younger girls when they're married, the wife can tell something is different. He wants to change his car. He's into new colognes. He's starting to shave up and, start to relive his youth through that relationship. So in the age gap relationship, whether it be man or woman, both person see something in the other person that they desire. So she see you as security, Boo, and you saw her as someone who could allow you to, feel young again. And for that reason, I'm going to say, Boo, that you both, regardless of how things, go on with both of you, you remember, you don't focus on, oh, you weren't in love with me, you just used me to come to this country. Or, Kim, you don't say, well, there are these differences in our age group and I want to have a baby and you're not able to give me a baby. Because my question to you is, did you guys sit down and have a conversation about these things? Now, let me go back to one of the videos that you did. Let's see. I think it's the one where you did a prank. Yeah, the one where you say, I gave my husband an enlargement pump. Kim, whoa, that one was tough for me to get through. Because a lot of the things you said in the prank, I know that was your truth. It was so specific. It was so detailed. It was hard for me to see that as a prank. I saw that as nothing else but the truth. When you say that for 3 years, especially knowing that you guys are actually together for 3 years, and I know you could have said that to make it seem real, but to say that you were in the relationship for 3 years and that things were just not working out in that department, and that a young boy could be rocking your world, oh my goodness. That was hard. I felt it for Boo. Now, I know you guys are pranksters, and there are times when he pranks you, and, I feel it for you too. But this was different. The look on his face when you were saying those things. Whoa. Especially when he said that you never target a man's ego that way. But Boo, were you honest with yourself? When you got together with Kim, you would have known, of your abilities. But at the same time, did you look at 10 years later, 20 years later, are you being realistic with yourself? And Kim, are you being honest with yourself? Did you not know that you wanted kids? Did you guys discuss this? Now, in the beginning, when you first came, I remember you doing that pregnancy test. And, Boo was so anxious for you to be pregnant. seems to be a very common thing in most relationships these days. As soon as people get together, you know, they want to have babies. They don't know that they can spend time together, you know, without bringing a child in the world. Boo, you were so disappointed. And Kim, you seemed very relieved. So it's hard to understand now the table is turned. Now you want a baby, and their medical situation that seems to be preventing Boo from giving you this. Age gap relationship of 20 or 30 years can work out, but you guys have to be realistic. Kim might have married you, Boo, with the intention that since you are the age where if you're not retired, you're almost there, that she will get the dream and the opportunity to travel. Because that is why some younger girls will marry an older man, because she wants to travel. She wants the leisure and the excitement. She thinks if I marry a younger guy, he might not be able to give these things to me. But now that she's married to you, Boo, she's finding out that you're laid back and that you're not really interested in being here and there, and she is. So where is that happy medium? Because I'm hearing resentment in your voice, but you say it in a kind of sarcastic way when you say pure misery. And Kim, you are laughing, but your eyes are crying. It's you put off so much sadness. I'm not sure if it's regret, because I'm sure you're happy for the opportunity that Bo gave to you. When I was getting ready to do this video, this song was playing in my mind, and I think it's very perfect for both of you. And the song that just popped into my mind was Adele, Hello. That's not how it came in my mind. It was California Dreaming. And I typed her name in, and those words, and sure, Hello popped up. So I want to say that in spite of your differences now, I would encourage you guys to sit down and really iron out your differences again. When it comes to marriage or married people affair, I'm always that one who wants to be that mediator. I want to say that your differences might seem huge right now. The thing you love is now what you dislike. Maybe you love that youthful spirit in Kim Boo, and now it's annoying because he said she's always laughing. But remember, she's not with her family. She's away from all that she's used to. Now she's in a new country, and maybe laughing or laughter is the way she copes. Instead of feeling stressed out or depressed, she laughed to lighten her heart. We must be honest with ourselves when we're getting into relationship with anybody, whether we are the same age, whether it's long distance or otherwise, that people are individuals. And although we are married, and in the scripture it says we become one, we're still two human beings trying to find our way in this world. And when we merge, when we come together as one in relationships, we have to understand that it's going to take many years for us to get to the part where we understand each other. Many years. You can't truly know anyone. And you said, Boo, that, people are arguing about her, wanting to use you. And you said, so what if she wanted an opportunity? You'll be happy to give it to her. We all have had opportunity for other persons. The distance between you guys are showing now because you're living together, as you've rightfully stated. And your way up from here is how much dedication or commitment you both will have. Kim feels like the honeymoon is over, and maybe the excitement is over for her too. So that gives you more work, boo, to now try to romance your wife, because a lot of men, after you get married, all the hard work you put in, when you're in the long distance situation, once you're together in the same home, you don't realize that the thing you use to get the person is what you're going to have to use to keep her. The charm, the patience, the humor. It doesn't stop. It has to continue. And when she might be looking at the things that are missing from the relationship with you, when you're able to use patience, and you seem very kind, seem like a very nice person, boo. You seem very laid back, but what I see might be different from what Kim is experiencing, and vice versa. What you see in Kim, maybe not what I see. I see Kim to be a very young, youthful type of, personality, excitement. She likes sex, I'm sure she can't take her eyes off her phone. And if you're not a person who's into technology or social media, and I don't think you were until you met her, it's going to be a difficult transition for you, or has been. So you have to factor in all these things into the situation. I have no issues with you being married to a person who's 30 or more years younger than you, sorry. Um, because it is your life. And as long as you're happy, that I should be happy. When I look at both of you together, although I notice a difference in your age, it didn't occur to me that it might not work out. But we know that when we get into a relationship, even in the best of circumstances, sometimes things fall apart. For the people who are watching you, that are inspired by your love for each other, and inspired by the fact that in spite of all these differences between you, you guys managed to come together, you found love, and you ran with it. In spite of the sadness that I'm seeing and I'm feeling between both of you, and as difficult as it is, in terms of you having disagreements or fighting, it is very common, because oftentimes people get married so they can get to know each other. If you guys were living in the same country together when you met, more than likely you wouldn't have gotten married anytime soon. But because you're long distance and you really want to get to know each other, you get married. And that is very common, and it's often a reason why people go their separate ways. If it is your intention to make this a relationship that's long lasting, you are going to have to put in the work, boo. Of course, Kim will have to do the same. It is advantageous for both of you to really sit down and be honest with yourself, to say, you know what? I was in love with the idea of being in love, if that is your situation. And we're going to have to call this a day. Both of you say, this is not what I want, without the animosity. It would be nice if you guys could be committed to each other so much that even if you went your separate ways, you still maintain this special love for each other. That's not what I'm recommending. That is just what I'm saying. If that's the route that you go, if you guys decide to stay and chug it out and just try to work on your differences, all I'm saying to you is that love supersedes all things, age, distance, all of that. And that you both can really make something of this relationship that you're in, if that is what you desire. At the moment, what I see is a lot of hurt. I see a lot of hurt on both sides. I see you looking so sad, boo. You're not the regular chirpy, exciting person as you once were a few months ago. And Kim, I see a lot of sadness on you as well. And that part is heartbreaking. Just be kind to each other. Remember, what it was like when you got together, when you were in that long distance relationship, you know, when you felt excited to be around each other. And if you can fix certain things, then let it go. Don't harp on what he said or she said. You know, I'm going to encourage you to think about your words carefully before you speak them, because once you speak them, you cannot take them back. And every harsh word we say to our partner drives a wedge between us. But every unrealistic expectation we hold of each other, it also drives us further with resentment. Also, remember, this is the world wide web. And sometimes when we share, we regret we shared. And whatever you put out there now, you cannot take it back. And so the judgments will come. I'm going to ask you guys that regardless of what you decide, whether you're staying together for the long haul or you've decided that this is not what I was signing up for, I don't need this. Kim always comes out and say a lot of things that it's the message within the message when she says that you've been in a lot of relationships and obviously she hasn't had as much experience as yourself. When she says it like that, it really is heartbreaking, because it's really showing her, I don't want to say her naivety, it's okay, her naivety to believe that it's going to be smooth sailing, because she's saying you've had a lot of experiences and by extension she hasn't had that much experience as yourself. And when she says certain things to you without thinking it out, or even when you guys decide to do these kinds of prank, because remember, Boo, when she did that video about the pump, you know, even though, you know, you're saying that a girl or a woman or should never attack a man's ego that way, the thing is, it wasn't a live video. It was a video that was put up after you did it, so you would have been okay with it, unless you're saying that you didn't want to put it up and she still did anyway. And if that's the case, Kim, then you have to be considerate of your partner's feelings regardless of where you're at the moment. If you listen to the song that popped into my mind, if that is your reality, you don't want to look back with regret. While I understand, as I said, you're young, and many persons your age will go through 3 or 4 relationships before they find love. And in your case, Boo, if this is your love, your true love, you've gone through many. And so you have to allow her to go through her changes because she's young. While I ask her to show you respect, and I think you are both very respectful towards each other, but while you ask her for respect and your dignity, you have to really sit down and say to yourself, this is a young girl with her life ahead of her, and maybe she might want some things that you can't give her. So it's time to have that truthful conversation. From my end, all I can do is wish you all the best and tell you that I really love watching your channel. And I also watch your channel now, Boo, now that you've started another channel. And I can only hope for the best for both of you. Stay blessed, stay honest, and put God in the midst. Be blessed, everyone.